This is Daf Yomi, Tractate Sanhedrin, page 24a, part 2. A little bit more than the middle of the page, but about half. With the word the Gasut Haruach, the Babel Nachit, those words. The Gasut Haruach le Bavel Nachit. The Gemara asks, did arrogance descend to Babylonia? V'ha'amar mar asara kabin gasut yardu le'olam tishak natla elam v'achat kol ha'olam kulo. Gemara, but doesn't the master say 10 kav of arrogance descended to the world, Elam took 9, and all the rest of the world in its entirety took 1. In the Babel Nachit v'ishtar bove hu d'ishtar bav le'elam dekanami dichtiv livnot la beit ba'aretz shinar shma mina. The Gemara answers, yes, it descended to Babylonia, and it made its way to Elam. The language of the verse is also precise, as it is written to build her a house in the land of Shinar, which indicates that the original intention was to build a house in Babylonia, but it was not built there. The Gemara comments, conclude from it that arrogance did not remain in Babylonia. Ve'omar mar siman gasut haruach aniut v'aniut leBavel nachit my aniut toire dichtiv achais lanu ketana v'shadayim ein la. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, zo elam, shezachta lilmod, velo zachta lilamed. Gemara asks, but doesn't the master say a sign of arrogance is poverty? And poverty descended to Babylonia, not to Elam. The Gemara answers, to what kind of poverty is this referring? Is poverty with regard to Torah, which was characteristic of Elam. As it is written, we have a little sister and she has no breasts. Song of Songs 8:8. And Rabbi Yochanan says this refers to Elam, whose inhabitants merited to learn Torah, but did not merit to teach it. They did not produce Torah scholars capable of imparting their wisdom to others. My Bavel, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Belula b'Mikra, Belula b'Mishnah, Belula b'Talmud, B'Machshakim, Hoshiveni k'Metei Olam. Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah, Ze Talmuda shel Bavel. The Gemara asks, what is the homiletic interpretation of the word Babylonia? Rabbi Yochanan says, as a tribute to the Jewish community of Babylonia and its Torah scholars, it means mixed with Bible, mixed with Mishnah, and mixed with Talmud. Other sages had a different opinion of the Torah in Babylonia. With regards to the verse, he has made me dwell in dark places, as those that have been long dead. Lamentations 3:6, where Jeremiah says, this is the Talmud of Babylonia, which is not as clear as the Talmud of Eretz Yisrael. He has made me dwell in dark places, as those that have been long dead. That's the Talmud Bavli. That's the Talmud that we're all learning right now. K'machshakim hoshiveni k'metei olam. K'metei olam. Anyway, that's pretty harsh. Dark. He made me dwell in dark places as those that have been long dead. And we're all learning that right now. Where's the light? Okay. New Mishnah. Amar lo ne'eman alai Abba, ne'eman alai Avicha, ne'emanim alai shlosha ro'ei bakar. Rabbi Meir Omer yachol lachzor bo, v'chachamim omrim enu yachol lachzor bo. If one litigant says to another, my father is trusted to adjudicate for me, or your father is trusted to adjudicate for me, or three cattle herders who are not proficient in halacha are trusted to adjudicate for me, all of whom are disqualified from serving as judges, Rabbi Meir says the one who made the offer can retract it, and the rabbis say he cannot retract it but must accept the verdict. Hayachai lechavero shavua, v'yamar lo dor li b'chaye roshecha. Rabbi Meir Omer yachol lachzor bo, v'chachamim omrim ein yachol lachzor bo. Similarly, one who was obligated by Torah law to take an oath to another, which is done while grasping a sacred object, and the latter said, instead of taking an oath, merely vow to me by the life of your head that what you claim is true. Rabbi Meir says the one who made the offer can retract it and demand the other litigant take an oath as he is obligated to do by Torah law. And the rabbis say he cannot retract his offer. Once he has agreed to accept a vow, which is of less severity than an oath, he cannot retract his agreement. Okay. Gemara. Amar Rav Dimi b'rei Rav Nachman b'rei Rav Yosef kegon dekable ale echad. Rav Dimi, son of Rav Nachman, son of Rav Yosef, says, the case of a litigant who accepts his father or the father of the other litigant as a judge is referring to where the litigant accepted this relative upon himself as one of the judges in a court of three, where the other two judges are fit. It is not referring to where he accepted him as the sole judge. Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Shmuel, machloket b'mechulach, aval be'eten lach, divri akol lachzor bo. Rabbi Yochanan Amar be'eten lach machloket. Yehuda says that Shmuel says the dispute between Rabbi Meir and the rabbis is with regard to a case where the claimant had said to the defendant, the money I claim you owe me is forgiven you if my father or your father rules as judge to that effect, and the claimant subsequently wishes to retract his offer. But in a case where it is the defendant who said, I will give you what you claim, if that is the ruling of this judge, everyone agrees that he can retract his offer. And Rabbi Yochanan says the dispute is with regard to a case where the defendant said, I will give you what you claim, if that is the ruling of this judge. Machloket aval b'mechulach דברי הכל אין יכול לחזור בו. או דילמה בין בזו ובין בזו מחלוקת. A dilemma is raised before the sages with regard to the opinion of Rabbi Yochanan. Is the dispute only with regard to a case where the defendant says, I will give you, but in a case where the claimant says, the money I claim you owe me is forgiven you? Everyone agrees that he cannot retract his offer, or perhaps Rabbi Yochanan maintains that the dispute is both with regard to this case and with regard to that case. Tashema, Damar Rava, Machloket be'eten lach, avol b'chu lach, divrei hakol, ein yachol lachzor bo. The Gemara suggests, come and hear a resolution from that, which Roy says the dispute is with regard to a case where the defendant says, I will give you. But in the case the claimant says the money I claim you owe me is forgiven you, everyone agrees that he cannot retract his offer. Granted, this makes sense if you say that according to Rabbi Yochanan too, the dispute is with regard to a case where the defendant says, I will give you, but in a case where the claimant says, the money I claim you owe me is forgiven you, everyone agrees that he cannot retract his offer. This means that Rav is stating that the halacha is according to the opinion of Rabbi Yochanan. But if you can say that according to Rabbi Yochanan, the dispute is both with regard to this case and with regard to that case, then in accordance with whose opinion is Rav is stating the halacha? His statement is in accordance with neither Shmuel's opinion nor Rabbi Yochanan's opinion. Rava tameh nafsheka amar. The Gemara rejects this. Perhaps Rava is stating his own explanation of the dispute. Esvei Ravacha bar tachlifa de Rava hayachav de chaver shvua ve'omar lo dor li chaya b'chaye roshecha. Rabbi Meir Omer yachol lachzor bo. Chachamim omrim ein yachol lachzor bo. Khalifa raised an objection to the opinion of Rav from the latter clause in the Mishnah with regard to one who was obligated by Torah law to make an oath to another, and the latter said to him, vow to me by the life of your head that what you claim is true. Rabbi Meir says the one who made the offer can retract it, and the rabbis say he cannot retract this offer.